Today I want to talk about creating space for sober possibilities. I know from Holy Sober I was going to get into purpose, productivity, daydreaming and doing, action, taking action, having an open heart, all those components that we identified in Holy Sober. But in reflecting on the journey of Holy Sober, rereading through it and what it took for me to really embrace my sober journey without the limitations of traditional recovery, without identifying as being an addict or an alcoholic and using the hyperboles of forever, always, and never. I had a space to consider something different. And that's unusual when you are pursuing a change with your relationship with alcohol. We've opened up some of the avenues where now we have people out there that are offering another view other than the disease theory. But unfortunately, abstinence is always the gold ring. That's what you're shooting for. And I want you to open your mind and open your heart to consider the possibility of not using alcohol as the focus, as the goal, as the aspiration or inspiration. I want you to open your heart and open your mind to what life could be when you are firing on all cylinders. So that means redirecting your thoughts, your actions, your energy from alcohol, whether you're thinking about drinking or not drinking, to dreams, desires, aspirations, goals. So how do you do that? Well, let's step back for a minute. I had two advantages when I stopped drinking. And remember, I'd never done this before. I'd never stopped drinking before. I'd never been in and out of the recovery. I didn't go to AA meetings, decide I wasn't an alcoholic, leave and then come back and leave and come back. I wasn't that person. I went to outpatient treatment. I had the fortunate experience of having a counselor there that was against Alcoholics Anonymous. So that planted a seed that you don't need AA in order to be sober, because she was sober and she was not an AA member. So that was the first seed that was planted for me. So I had an opening to consider other possibilities. But here's the interesting part. My sponsor gave me a book, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. Now, in these pages, it was so fascinating to me. You can heal vision, you can heal cancer, you can heal a broken heart, you can heal arthritis. This was the belief system she was handing me. But you can't heal addiction? How is that the only thing that can't be healed? According to Alcoholics Anonymous and her being my sponsor and the programming that goes with that program. So reading that book in my first month of Alcoholics Anonymous, again, planted another seed that I could heal. I don't have to be diseased. I don't have to have this identity for the rest of my life. So that was another seed that was planted. So there was an opening for possibilities. What's troubling right now is that sobriety and recovery has become almost trendy, like the little black dress. Everybody's able to hop on and hop off. And I'm not sure there's anything really wrong with that, except for the negative messaging that's typically attached to it. Like, sober success means that you're abstinent. So if somebody is moving forward in their life and they're developing skills and learning and growing, That's not measured. The only thing that measures the success is whether or not you're drinking. In my world and with my clients, that's the last thing we consider. And I never bring it up unless they want to talk about it, because I don't think that's where the strength is. That's not where the magic is. The magic is in building systems and rerouting your brain, regrooving your brain, repaving your brain pathways, your neuroplasticity into what it is that you do want, instead of giving time, attention, and energy into what you don't want. So what I'm finding, and just, I never really dig into anybody else's work, but I do see a lot of trends that are like on YouTube or on social media, and one of the more recent ones is 100 days. I haven't drank in 100 days. It's like, yeah, and what? What does that mean? Good for you? Yay! Are you going to stop now? How does that change your relationship with alcohol? What have you done in place of it? And the other side of that is that although people are saying you don't have to have a disease in order to be free or focus on changing this habit, alcohol's bad and it's poison, and this is what it does to your body. Again, you're making alcohol the enemy. Alcohol doesn't have to be villainized in order for you to have power over it. Which I know having power over your choices is antithetical to the traditional path when addressing an alcohol concern, but you are empowered. And again, the magic, the strength, the ability to break free from the need to misuse alcohol is in finding, building, creating a life that is so desired. If you're relying on alcohol, if you're depending on alcohol to take you away, you typically overuse alcohol. And so when you overuse alcohol, you do get tired. So my hope for you is that you create a vision for yourself, what you want, who you want to be, how you want to live, how you want to experience this one and only precious life of yours, how you want people to experience you while you're in this time and space. I want you to create that vision of who you are, what you do, how you do it, that is so delicious that you don't want to interrupt the process with drinking. And that's very different. And that's why I so much wanted to share this with you today, is that you have to create that space. I had a counselor who created that space. I had a book that was introduced to me early in my journey that created that space of possibilities. If all you're exposed to is alcohol is bad, I'm forever challenged and I will always struggle. It's really hard to overwrite that programming. If you can wedge in a possibility, you can seed that, like planting a seed in the garden, and you can tend to it and allow it to grow. But when you are downloading programming that is so restrictive and rigid, that don't expose yourself to anything else because it'll get you drunk, that kind of control, that kind of all or nothing will probably get you drunk. And I don't know that there's anything wrong with drunk, except if it's getting in the way of you achieving what you'd like to achieve during this lifetime. Wrapping up the summary from this conversation I'm trying to have with you is that you don't have to subscribe to limiting beliefs in a rigid program in order to find freedom from misusing, overusing, or abusing alcohol. That you can plant a seed and you can tend to it and watch it grow, and that alcohol is not bad. I wish for you what I have, and that's peace around it, and that if I ever find myself wanting a glass of wine, I will have a glass of wine. I just have not had any interest or desire for it. And I don't have all the other attachments that typically come with traditional recovery. I want that freedom for you. You should be able to move through life, the rest of your life, without alcohol either being a subject of obsession for I can't or I want. Alcohol should be a non-issue. That's when you truly have sobriety. That's it for this week. I know it's kind of a mess. I kind of spitballed it here, kind of freestyled it. So I'd love to hear back from you. I typically write these out and follow a very regimented script that I design and create, but I really wanted to speak from my heart about having this openness, this opportunity, this invitation to explore the magic of sober possibilities.